Hey, I'm going to be doing some more videos like this, but I did want to do a brief one on racial injustice in health, just kind of as a part one. There's going to be a lot to add. I wanted to talk about, we're seeing some positive movement in the country, and we need to rename the schools, rename the buildings at different places, and that has just happened at my university. Very proud of them. Rename military bases, rename sports teams, take down monuments. Because here's the reason why, and I'm extrapolating from something I've heard from the great advocate and attorney Brian Stevenson. But if you were of Jewish heritage, you would be bristling if you had to go to an Adolf Hitler high school or a Himmler middle school. And if you were of Christian heritage and you had to go to a Pontius Pilate high school, I can assure you there would be a lot of people protesting to get the names changed. But if you were forced to do that, if you were in the minority and forced to do that, you would feel stress. This would create a chronic low-level stress that maybe you're not even cognitively aware of because it's just been existing in society for so long. That stress is then going to increase inflammation, which over time causes issues within your gastrointestinal, your heart, and other areas. We just know that inflammation is problematic for health. So you've been living with that chronic stress and inflammation for years, and then you get a serious illness like COVID come through, and you're more susceptible, which is why we're seeing that this affects oppressed populations disproportionately. Now, so by taking down the monuments, that's one small step to some of this just insidious racism that's been happening in our country, which then can help reduce depression. We know that there's a link between discrimination and depression. Also, we know that there's a link between discrimination and telomeres. And the telomeres, so this is the ends, a compound on the ends of your chromosomes. The longer they are, the better health your chromosome is in. Typically, as we age, the telomere is going to shorten. Okay. Now, what we do, I should mention that mindfulness practice has been shown to increase the length of a telomere. Okay, so this can definitely happen. But what we do know is folks that have education will have shorter telomeres. One other visual that helps me with telomeres, by the way, it is the shoestring, and that the plastic piece of the shoestring maintains the health of the shoestring. As soon as that plastic piece is gone, the shoestring deteriorates. So for my simple mind, if you think about telomeres in health, think about the plastic on the end of the shoestring. And that by reducing, renaming, taking down monuments, we can start to reduce this just underlying insidious racism we have. Inflammation we've talked about and the harm that that causes to the body. And another thing is short allele, part of the serotonin transporter gene. I know I'm being very simplistic here, but it's been shown that folks with short allele have a predisposition to react badly to stress, and it can result in perhaps increased anxiety and depression and so forth. Now, with epigenetics, we know that these genes get turned on and off based on what's going on within the environment and how we interpret that. So clearly another way that this low-level discrimination or blatant, obvious discrimination affects us is by affecting our genes at this level and the neurotransmitters and so forth. So we've got it affecting inflammation, affecting telomeres, affecting short allele, and then creating bad health, which then makes us just so susceptible. So this is why we need to take steps. In the next video, I'd like to talk in our country, which maybe you could trace back to even the founding of this country and why folks came over here for our natural resources and so forth. So we will talk about that. Leave comments to let me know how this works, and we will talk to you soon.